Hey folks, this is Matt once again. Welcome back. First off, now that I'm looking at this camera, you can kind of notice this thing here. You're probably wondering what the hell is this? Uh, it's a beauty mark from a lady friend, and no, not a hooker, but a lady friend, which need to go any more detail than that. Uh, I just say for any trolls or future trolls, if you say, "Oh, you're a virgin," this, you don't know anything, but that a little bit crazy. Anyway, too much information. This isn't the fucking Dr. Ruth show. This is I haven't been pumping. Well, I have, but again, too much information. I haven't been pumping out videos because I've been watching. Other than that, uh, Survivor Series. I've been watching some wrestling stuff like 87, 91, and 92 to 96. And I've been watching other stuff too. And granted, I'm far from a wrestling expert. I mean, I've watched wrestling, but I know like there's a lot of guys on here watching. You will know a hell lot more about wrestling, and you guys can do a hell lot better reviews than me on wrestling. So I'm just gonna do like little mini. Okay, this is what happened. This one, and give my thoughts on it, whether I liked or didn't like. And probably the comments below, you'll get more information than me. Like there's these guys, OSW Reviews. They do a really good job. I know a lot of their videos on YouTube got taken down because of copyright, but I think they're trying to post as many as they can. But if you go to Vimeo, Vimeo, and you type in OSW Review, they do a really good job because it's all footage from the events, these pay-per-views, and they condense it down to about 90 minutes because usually these are about at least over 2.5 hours. But it's all footage going through everything. But they also go through the backstories behind the kayfabe story going on. But they can also give you some backstories on what was really happening behind the scenes and a lot of info. I don't always agree with their views, but I thought they do a pretty good job, especially info-wise. Very interesting. But if you're maybe in either, I was thinking maybe doing. I still don't know if I'll do this in one. Probably not. It'd probably be easier just to do separate little videos. So I'll probably just do like tonight I'll do 87 and 91 and then I'll just upload those 5 videos. And then if you guys want me to do more, let me know. And if not, there's some other movies I want to review. I'm not taking requests. I don't mean anything rude by that, by the way. It's just I like doing random stuff and what I want to review just to be more fun. Because I know I want to review Twins, I want to review Twister, so those movie reviews will be coming sometime soon too. But I guess let's get started. Let's see. I'm not going. Again, there's a lot more experts in wrestling than me, so this is just my quick thoughts. And for those wondering, this is Survivor Series Volume 1, starting off with 1987, but just to show you what it looks like. It opens up like this. There was only 2 volumes. This is from 87, 91, then it's 92 to 96. And they never released a volume 3. I don't know why. But to showcase a bunch of the wrestling there. And I hate the way they package this though, because you gotta slide the disc in. I don't know why they do that shit. It's just so you can scratch it. But the first one was 1987. That was the first Survivor Series. And Survivor Series usually takes place around Thanksgiving. And it says, the event was added after WrestleMania 3 to mark the success from Hulk Hogan and André the Giant's rivalry. Vince McMahon threatened cable companies who aired the NWA Starrcade, which was going head-to-head with Survivor Series on Thanksgiving night, 1987. Instead, Survivor Series would not be allowed to broadcast WrestleMania 4. Most cable providers gave in to McMahon's threat, and only a handful aired Starrcade. So, pretty much to get another pay-per-view and also to kick out Starrcade, which was the NWA's. Which in a way kind of isn't that what kind of was happening with WCW? I mean, that was on a bigger level, but I'm just saying the Monday Night War This Vince McMahon was pulling the same shit that Eric Bischoff was pulling, but not many people mention that. But as for 1987, I mean, what was interesting, especially with the Survivor Series, is that it was a lot of big tag team matches, like 5-on-5, 4-on-4, 6-on-6, something like that. So you would have like different types of wrestlers that you've never seen together, be in the same event or be in the same match, and that was sort of the interesting part of watching these. Like in 1987, this is one team: Macho Man Randy Savage, Jake the Snake Roberts, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, and Brutus the Barber Beefcake and Hacksaw Jim Duggan. That's a hell of a team. And you're going up against the Honky Tonk Man, Hercules, Danny Davis, who I don't know who the fuck Danny Davis was. For some reason, I remember. Was he something like a referee that went bad or something? Yeah, he was a referee and showed blatant favoritism towards certain wrestlers, which eventually led to his removal as a referee. So he was pretty much a referee, but he was a heel referee. So he was a bad guy referee. Ron Bass and Harley Race. And Ron Bass, I don't even know who that is either. See, some of these older guys, like Ron Bass, he's like had a guy with this like Texan guy, sort of cowboy hat type of guy. And I know Hacksaw Jim Duggan got defeated. Bruce the Barber Beefcake got defeated. Because Hacksaw Jim Duggan, a lot of these early ones, either he'd win, or if he lost, he never lost clean. So a lot of times it'd be like disqualification. When you watch Survivor Series in a row, you kind of see similar stuff. Like, for example, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, there's a lot of times where he does 2x4, just hit someone, get disqualified. So technically he lost, but he wasn't pinned. Or in this one, him and Harley Race, they went out and they were both counted out. And I did enjoy this one because the last three who survived was Macho Man, Jake the Snake, and Ricky Steamboat. And those are three guys I really enjoy. Like, if I have a top 10 of wrestlers, I mean, not only Stone Cold Steve Austin, and yes, Hulk Hogan would be on there, and The Rock would be on there, but also Macho Man Randy Savage, Jake the Snake Roberts, and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, they'd be on there too. As for who else, I'm not sure. What was that, about 6? I'd have to think about it. I'm not sure. Probably Bret the Hitman Hart, Roddy Piper would be on there. And I'd have to think about the other one. But, and then, like, Honky Tonk Man, he was a big villain at that time. I think he was the Intercontinental Champion. I know at one point Honky Tonk Man, who was this guy who was pretty much a Elvis wannabe, how do I put it? From what I understand, especially at the time, I don't know since then, but at the time he was like the longest running Intercontinental Champion of all time. So when everyone else got eliminated, he pretty much just walked out. Like Bruce Beefcake got eliminated, but then all the other guys got eliminated. And then it was always cool to see, for me, Jake the Snake Roberts do the DDT, because for those who don't know what DDT is, just look it up. It's pretty much, say a guy's bent over. Let's say someone's in front of me and they're bent over like this. If I grab them and it goes straight down on their head, I like Jake the Snake, he created that move. And that's a move that people use to this day. If you look up DDT, he created that move, Jake the Snake. There's not many wrestlers who creates a move that's especially used to this day. And he did like the best. Like, he had a sort of snap to it, which I like. So it was always nice, and like the people would and the crowd would go DDT, DDT. They would really get behind him. And of course, with his name, he always brought his snake. I like that he's getting in the Hall of Fame. He deserves it. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, I like him. He's a very talented, technical wrestler. I mean, he's really talented. I mean, watching his DVD, it's like, wow, this guy can move in the ring. And Macho Man Randy Savage, may he rest in peace, that guy deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Despite whatever bullshit's going on, he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Should have been in the Hall of Fame a long time ago. I think something about he wanted his family to be in it as well. And I'm like, just fucking do it then. What's the big deal? But whatever. politics and other bullshit, I'm sure. But the fact that it was those three that survived, I really liked that. Macho Man, Jake the Snake, Ricky Steamboat, that was cool. And I had fun with the match. Like I said, it's hard to review. How do you review a wrestling match? I mean, I'm not that good at it. But I enjoyed it. And there's not a lot of matches. Well, before that, there was an interview with Honky Tonk Man and his team, then that match. Then an interview with André the Giant and his team. You had about 4 matches. And you have a couple interviews with people. You have Ted DiBiase, like what he's thankful for and Thanksgiving. Pretty much like he buys out a pool to get the kids out there so he could be his own personal pool. And Million Dollar Man was a good bad guy. Had a great laugh. Everyone's got a price. But yeah, there's about 4 matches. The second one, it's a women's, and this is going to sound sexist. I'm not a big fan of women wrestling. Nothing against that. It's just a woman can wrestle on their choice. That's fine. It's just that a lot of them that I've seen haven't been that great. Of course, there's a lot of guys who aren't great wrestlers either. But like, yeah, this girl, Fabulous Moolah. I know she's a legend, but she was pretty terrible, especially in the Fabulous Moolah, Rockin' Robin, Velvet McIntyre, and the Jumpin' Bomb Angels versus Sensational Sherri, because she was a wrestler before she was the manager of Shawn Michaels and Macho Man. The Glamour Girls, Donna Cristianello, and Dawn Marie. I think one of them, like Rockin' Robin, who she wasn't really that good at all. I think she was the sister of Jake the Snake. And she's not the one who died. Like Jake the Snake's real sister is the one who died. Who sad story with Jake the Snake Roberts is pretty much his real sister. She married someone, and that someone's ex-wife was apeshit crazy and took Jake the Snake Roberts' sister and murdered her. And it was a really sad story. If you watch the DVD of Jake the Snake, it's a very sad story. But this is a half sister, I guess. She wasn't really that great of a wrestler, to be honest. I mean, I don't know. Just from this one match, I'll say. Fabulous Moolah, she seemed really old, this woman. Just old. Like, she could barely move. And it was like, this is 87. She looked like she was in her 60s. And maybe she was. The only thing I got enjoyment out of this was these two, Itsuki Yamazaki and Norio Tateno, the Jumping Bomb Angels. These were actually pretty talented wrestlers. These women could wrestle. They were doing some really cool moves. I mean, I can't remember the technical name of the moves, but I know they were. I think they started in Japan, then they went to WWF, and I don't think they did much. Unfortunately, I don't think they got to do a lot in the WWF, which is a shame because I'm like, there were no other fucking teams, and the crowd was getting into them as well. So I don't know why they didn't do much. In '87 Survivor Series, they were the sole survivors of the women's division, so they were the only two that survived that won. Because it's one of those things. It's not one in the Survivor Series. It's not one pins the other and the match is done. It's whoever's the last one standing. Meaning you can have one person on one team face up against 4 or 5, and if that person can beat all 5, great. But if they beat that one, then that team wins, and whoever didn't get beat is the survivor of that match. That's how Survivor Series works. And they survived that. And then, I guess at the Royal Rumble, which I have over there, especially thanks to John Zero Cool. I haven't watched it yet. I guess they beat the Glamour Girls. And then, in June of '88, the Glamour Girls defeated the Angels to recapture the championship. Shows nothing else. So I don't know if they did anything else. I don't know what the deal is. Like, I don't know why were these not pushed, or maybe I don't know what happened. But they were the only thing worth a shit in the match. Everyone else I thought sucked. And then we get to the third match, which just was kind of a clusterfuck for me to watch because it's just so many people. It seemed like it dragged on forever because it was over a half an hour match. Because there was like 20 guys involved. You had Strike Force, which was Tito Santana, which I swear I never saw this guy win. Well, he did win one match in Survivor Series, and then which led to another match, and then he lost. But Tito Santana was one of those guys that I kept seeing over and over again, but rarely do I ever see him win. Maybe if I watch the WrestleMania Royal Rumble, he wins in those, but stuff he doesn't win much. And then you had Rick Martel, who would be Rick the Model Martel. Those two made up Strike Force. And then some of these I don't know, like the Young Stallions, the Killer Bees. I'm like, there's a fucking wrestling team called the Killer Bees. British Bulldogs, which I've heard of them. And the Fabulous Rougeaus. Probably said it wrong. They went up against the Hart Foundation, which was Bret Hart and Jim Neidhart, the Anvil. The Islanders, Demolition, who's Action Smash, the Bolsheviks, which were just the Russian guys, and the Dream Team, Grade the Hammer Valentine and Dino Bravo. Two more guys that I watch, and I'm like, why the fuck do these guys get so... What's so great about these guys? Like, Grade the Hammer Valentine, Dino Bravo. Every time I see Dino Bravo's name, I think of the fucking dinosaur from the Flintstones. And I've seen a couple matches with these guys. These guys aren't much to run home about for me. Dino Bravo and Grade... But I keep seeing them over and over again. And that's what I mean, like, if you're wondering, the one with Strike Force, they won. Like, the surviving teams were the Killer Bees and the Young Stallions. And it was one of those things that I just... Most of these teams I didn't care for. I mean, except maybe the Hart Foundation, maybe Demolition, but most of these I'm like, I don't know who these guys are. I don't care. It feels like it's fucking long. It's over 30 minutes, and maybe other people will like it. And the one Hart Foundation got out of there, it's like, okay, I don't care. I don't know how else to put it. Sorry. And then the last match, because it's 4 matches. It was André the Giant, One Man Gang, Team Tom Bundy, Butch Reed, and Ravishing Rick Rude on one team. Wish I had been watching these. Ravishing Rick Rude I thought was a pretty good bad guy that I think they could have done more. Because I think they could have done more with him, but I thought he was pretty good. Because he was like, all you sweaty... What was it? I'm trying to figure out the exact dialogue. All you sweat hogs, shut your yap while I take off my robe and show you what a real man looks like. And just the way he did, I thought it was a good bad guy. He fought the Ultimate Warrior a lot. I know Jake the Snake Roberts, because also on his pants he would have different stuff. Like he'd have his opponent on his pants, or he had Jake the Snake Roberts' wife on his pants, which would get Jake the Snake pissed and their feud. Junkyard Dog, other people. But they face off against Hulk Hogan, Paul Orndorff, Don Morocco, Ken Patera, and Bam Bam Bigelow. And Don Morocco, Ken Patera, like Don Morocco, all I can say about him is he's fucking buff. Like he's about as buff as like Lou Ferrigno would be when he did the Incredible Hulk. Like this is a buff guy. That's all I really got from him. And Ken Patera, I don't know if this guy was an Olympian because he reminded me with the clothes he was wearing. Because the stuff he was wearing, Olympic weightlifter. Okay, he was an Olympic weightlifter. So it's like Kurt Angle before Kurt Angle, but Kurt Angle has more talent. And sure, this guy's strong, and that's what they were going for more in the 80s with strong guys. But Ken Patera just... Kurt Angle can wrestle. Ken Patera just, he was yet another strong guy. Just no personality. Same with Don Morocco. They kind of just blend together. Just another strong guy. I mean, Hulk Hogan, he had, personality in his interviews, his promos, things like that, at least. And this one, oh yeah, and then you also had Bam Bam Bigelow, which I don't pretty quickly seem like they turned to a bad guy. This one, this is one I didn't care for at all because André the Giant, I mean, I think it was around 92 or 93 where he finally stopped doing it because in the last couple years he was in poor health or getting in poor health. So really in matches he didn't do much. Mainly he just sat outside and then even that he would get tired. Like he'd come in, maybe do a couple bumps, bump his butt on someone or choke someone and then go back out again. He didn't really do much. Again, I think because in his later years, uh, man, I'm after WrestleMania 3 and stuff. I mean, later years, especially later years, he was getting poor health, so he doesn't have much to do. And here, it's again not much he's doing, not much shit he's doing. I mean, it's like what the fuck? Like, do something. Uh, but at the same time, if he's in poor health, hey, there's only so much you can do if you're getting there. But and he was never like a bit. It wasn't like a technical wrestler. It was because he's the Giant, and I like Andre the Giant. But he in this match he doesn't really do much. Is what I'm getting at. And some of the guys that you don't know about, like Butch Reed or Ken Patera, they get eliminated pretty quickly. Trying to think. Pretty much it gets down to one man game, Andre the Giant, King Kong Bundy in one corner, and Hulk Hogan and Bam Bam Bigelow in the other corner. And Hulk Hogan gets counted out because King Kong Bundy and One Man Game, they're fighting Hulk Hogan outside. And they're just, Hulk Hogan gets counted out because they keep fucking with him outside. And then it takes forever to Hulk Hogan. Of course, Hulk Hogan's pissed, but it takes him forever to leave. And then, okay, cool, Bam Bam Bigelow. This could be their big push for Bam Bam Bigelow. He's got to face these three big guys. And, he gets one guy, King Kong Bundy. The second guy he gets is very lame because this guy one man game. He gets on the top rope and he jumps and he just does ugh. It's the worst fall. He's trying to jump on the guy, Bam Bam, trying to jump on Bam Bam, but when he jumps there, ugh, and somehow that knocks him out. Somehow just him. Oh, I stubbed my toe. Like when he landed or something. That's pretty much what it is. Oh shit, I stubbed my toe, and Bam Bam just puts his arm like this, and he beats this big. I'm like, really, really? It just looked lame. And then Bam Bam, he's so tired that Andre just comes in. Bam Bam does some of these tuck and rolls to get out of the way, and then pretty much Andre just does a really shitty looking hip toss. I don't know if it's supposed to be a suplex hip toss. He just does ugh. He does this. It doesn't even look that much of anything. Pins Bam Bam. And then Hulk Hogan comes out, gets Andre out of there. And then Hulk Hogan poses for 10 minutes. And I'm like, I like Hulk Hogan, but I'm like, dude, I know he's the big star, but what was the point of having Bam Bam Bigelow do all this stuff at the end? And then he just disappears at the end. He's like, okay, you go out of the way, Bam Bam. Let me pose for 10 minutes. I'm like, yeah, then what the fuck was the point of Bam Bam going up against these three gigantic guys? And then afterward, they didn't even give him much of a push. Either let him get the win on Andre. Hell, it could be as simple as a fucking count out. Bam Bam does a hit or he's run out of options, so he does some kind of maneuver. Just want to understand, Bam Bam Bigelow could move even as a big guy. does some crazy maneuver, gets Andre out onto the floor, and he gets counted out or something. I mean, if you don't give him this big thing of him going against these three guys and him beating two of them, even though one was silly, okay, you just beat by Andre, and then Hulk Hogan comes in, and I'm like, this doesn't help Bam Bam at all. Because you sucked all the momentum for Bam Bam Bigelow out of it. Because Hulk Hogan's got to come in and pose for 10 minutes. And I'm like, and yeah, I like Hulk Hogan. Like I say, I like Hulk Hogan more than Bam Bam Bigelow, but at the same time, I'm like, it is kind of a lame match. So the first Survivor Series, really, the first one I enjoyed the most because it was Jake the Snake Roberts, who got to do a DDT. It was Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, which I don't think he got to pin anybody, unfortunately, but he got to do some stuff. And then Macho Man Randy Savage, which I think he got to do his elbow and flying elbow. And it was fun. Like, those three guys I liked, and they survived, and I thought it was a fun match. The women won. The only thing is the two Japanese wrestlers are the only ones they gave a shit about because it looked like they could wrestle. The other did not. The other ones did not. It looked kind of pretty lame. The third one, there was just so many fucking things. Again, 20 guys, like 10 on 10, and it just at a point it's like, okay, it's just over 30 minutes, almost 40 minutes, and I'm getting bored. I just couldn't get into it from just my opinion. Maybe other people can who are more familiar with a lot of these tag teams. And then the last one, I didn't like the result. It's the bad guy, of course, Andre winning, and the other guys like Don Morocco and Tampa Terror. I'm like, I don't know. I barely know who the fuck these guys are. I don't care. Hulk Hogan didn't count it out. Kind of a bullshit matter. And then the ending was pretty bullshit. Bam Bam pinning this one guy who does this stupid, oh, I'm going to get, oh shit, it looks like he stubs his toe when he lands. Oh shit. And then, but somehow he's knocked up enough from that, and it just looked lame. And then Bam Bam did his all this stuff. I don't know. The first Survivor Series, for me personally, I would just look at the first one with Macho Man, Ricky Steamboat, and Jake the Snake. If you want to look at the women one, I mean, if you want to look at the others, go ahead. Maybe you'll find them on YouTube or something else. But the first, for me, honestly, when we watch this, I probably just watch the first match. And I'm trying to remember, I think, who did commentary. I want to say it was Jesse Ventura. Because I think actually during his commentary, he actually mentions the Running Man. Because that came out around that time in '87. I believe, yeah, I believe he did. So I know Jesse the Body Ventura was on commentary. I forget who the other guy was, if it was Gorilla Monsoon or someone else, I forget. But yeah, that's just my, not even quick thoughts, half an hour shit, of Survivor Series 1987. Part of me wants to just put this one video up and see if you want me to keep going or not. You can let me know. If not, no worries, no foul, no harm. If so, then I'll probably do 88 and 89 and so on. But just feel free to let me know. And um, we'll see you later.